Today we are jumping into the long discussed question, can women and men be friends? This is a video by Jubilee, so let's just jump in.
So you're saying you care
let's get
more
it.
about money than a relationship?
I don't give a if she was a homie. But if she stole my money, yeah, that's my life.
Yo, it's looking like a juicy one, not gonna lie.
Men and women cannot just be friends. 3, 2, 1.
That's a false. I strongly disagree.
Just be friends.
He's still deciding, but I'll go ahead. There's always this underlying current to a man and a woman when they're just friends, because there's this sexual attraction, this energy that you can't even see it. It's always flowing. And men, as you know, you guys are conquerors. You want a conquest. You want to, even if it's a
You
friend,
don't agree.
sometimes
She
that
agreed.
develops into more simply because law of familiarity, you start getting close and comfortable, and maybe you weren't attracted to her initially, but that opposition of that sexual polarity always kicks in.
What if the man is like not attracted to women? Just like generally, do you think that's still
You mean if they take a different
like a gay man and
sexual orientation?
and a woman being friends?
Well, I think that's different, perhaps because they're attracted to men. So in that moment, they have taken on the
Oh, he
feminine
switched
energy.
so they
it
only
up
want to
to-
conquer the men, not the women.
Well, in that, there's always masculine and feminine energy, whether you're a man or woman. So if the man is gay and identifies as being attracted to men, then he's in a feminine energy, mostly. Now, if there's two of them, there's one that's more masculine and more feminine, but that's for another.
Two of my best friends are women. We have
Frank.
great times together.
Oh,
all the
he
time.
was in
Not
my
once
100 people
have I
video. Go check
considered
that out.
sleeping with them or anything like that.
Ever?
No, but that's the thing is though.
In
that's
their
why,
darkest hour, in your darkest hour, come on.
No,
Because you like started off
because
as
we started off as
non-attractive.
friends, and this is like I said, I was
lot of-
never attracted to them.
A lot of relationships start like that today, even though I discourage it. They say, I'm not attracted to them, but it'll grow. And I'm always like,
Nah,
it
you
can
gotta have
happen.
that like
It can,
initial
But the
attraction.
odds of it,
oh
so
God.
I agree with you on that as
Yeah,
well.
that's why I'm like, I do
Slim to
understand
none.
and I get it, but I like two of my best friends are women, and not once. Everyone keeps saying like, oh, you're gonna do, and I'm like, it's not, because
You never know. Life is
there.
a long time.
Are your friends attractive?
Yes.
Like they look good.
But attractive is subjective.
But like just
It
like
is very
generally speaking, like your
Yes.
girls like look good, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you was just lonely, like it's been a moment, you didn't want to beat it, you know what I mean? Or like, you know.
There's a special exemption. I'm non-monogamous, so I never have to worry about intimacy.
Well, that's
word.
why.
Well, so you getting played. So you ain't worried about you, man.
He's like getting it, so he doesn't need it. But
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what I'm saying.
if-
But if you was lonely and you wasn't getting it though, and your friend was throwing
and
it
I
at
guess
you.
that's
That's a different situation. That's what I'm saying. I know I'm an
you
outlier.
belong over here
Come
though.
on,
I don't think so.
come
No.
to the dark side.
If he's not
okay.
attracted, if we're not attracted,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just
not-
friends.
it's just friends, yeah.
As a straight, very monogamous man, I grew up mainly being friends with women. I felt more comfortable in those spaces. I felt more comfortable talking to women. I've never been like a
We can tell,
bro,
Kian.
rah, rah, rah,
Yeah,
that
we
type
can
of
tell,
thing.
Kian.
So I think men and women absolutely can be. I have friends that I've had since elementary school, middle school. We talk very often and we talk about all these things, and it has never affected that aspect of the relationship because we're men and women. We're just people, and people can be friends. It's not.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
So my perspective is
I
from
low-key
kind of a
agree with
Christian
that guy.
worldview. I believe that God created man and woman to come together in love and attraction to be one. And so from that standpoint, I believe that there is just a natural attraction. I have had some extremely close friends that were girls, and that attraction just developed because it wasn't just physical, but it was love. It was getting to see how they were around their family, around kids, what they do for work, what they do for school.
Yeah, but you
developing
love your
that
guy
relationship.
friends, too.
So from my perspective, that attraction develops because I wasn't just looking at her from just, she's just a body. Yeah, she's just a piece of meat. You develop that emotional
You actually
attraction
care about
that
them.
relationship.
Which is why I'm over here. Yes, joining this dark
Can you not?
side.
I would ask.
Because I completely agree with you on that. From
Can
the
you
same
love it?
Christian
Yes.
standpoint, 100%.
And now let's get back to it.
Yeah,
I
fuck
would
that.
date someone I do not find physically attractive. 3, 2, 1.
Strongly disagree. That's weird, not gonna lie.
Ah man.
Oh yeah, I guess it doesn't matter.
You wanna say something first?
Alright, what?
I do it all the time because there is a there's a lot you don't, just from the physicalness, it's like sometimes there's some people that I learned just by not going in based off physical attractionness, I end up being attracted to them just because of their personality. And, you know, looks can be deceiving. I could say the same on the opposite end, where I thought someone was absolutely attractive, but then I got to know them and they were the worst person I could have possibly been on a date with.
I feel like you can definitely not be attracted to somebody initially, and then as you get
Yeah.
I feel like at that point, like once I like someone's personality romantically, I probably also think they're attractive.
I would say that for some, you know,
This
it's
guy
not
going
a
back and
reflection on your
forth.
character, how weighted appearance versus personality might be. It differs from person to person. I think that we have our preferences, and I think that a certain element of physical attractiveness is fitness, health, hygiene, and that reflects on usually competence, responsibility, and dedication.
Pretty
but,
well spoken,
I do
not
see it
gonna
as
lie.
important, although not a the whole package by any means.
Right.
sure.
It's the very first impression you get of most people.
Yes.
Because like, you meet someone and you can't hear their voice first thing most of the time, you just see them. And you're like, oh, that person's attractive, or like, I don't see myself with that person because I don't find them attractive. And that's totally fine. Not everybody's attracted to everybody.
Yeah.
But me personally, I would not be with someone I don't find attractive.
So,
Agree.
Bro,
I gotta give
I'ma say,
context here.
off rip, if you're actually dating to marry, then you should be on the strongly disagree side of this question. If you're gonna marry the person, you should at least be attracted to them physically, I feel like. That's just
You
what
don't
I
look
think, though.
good, then I'm over there with y'all. But if I'm meeting you through a dating app and I get catfished, but you're kind of cool, then, because I met a girl that had nice pictures. But then when I seen her in person, she was a little bit bigger than I prefer, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that,
Well,
right? It's-
everyone can have nice pictures today.
Yeah. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a bit bigger, but for preference sake, I wasn't really feeling it. But her personality is what got me. And then I started entertaining it. So, right, even though I got
Word?
catfish,
Alright, okay, I like
actually
this guy.
considered, taking her seriously.
And I also date, like, sometimes I really
I had
try
to
this,
see
and
it
it's
through.
led to some great people I've got to meet along the way. I will date outside of my preferences just to see what that's like.
If you're not initially attracted to that person and have a strong sexual attraction, then it's not going to work, because we know that relationships get worse, not better. That's like, I don't know, I think it's a recipe for a disaster.
I agree.
Cheating is the
completely,
worst
bro.
thing my partner could do to me. 3, 2, 1.
I agree. Other than, like, physically hurting.
I feel like there's like probably worse things like in theory that a partner could do to their partner, but just because that's such an important aspect for me, and like I feel like my partners in the past have like been very aware that was like something that I actively would not do. I feel like that would just make that adds like an extra element of evil.
Yeah,
to it.
I mean, my
And
mind
you
goes
spoke
to
specifically
marriage.
about
I
cheating,
mean,
too. Yeah.
You know, when you marry this woman, when I marry a woman someday, you promise literally everything you have to be with her, literally thick and thin, to be with her through everything, through highs and lows. And I mean, if you do something like cheating, it's basically like, screw this love, this wasn't real. These promises that I made between us
Literally.
and God mean nothing. I think for a lot of Christians, that's like a big thing, is cheating.
A lot of
100%. And
a lot of people in
it's,
general, bro.
It's one of the 10 commandments too. It's like, do not commit adultery.
Yeah.
So that is definitely the worst thing, because getting married is a promise between you and that person and God.
I mean, technically, there's worse things, like they could kill
You
you,
got
which
some
would probably
really
be the
Christian
worst thing, because then
Christians
like you're not even in the picture.
You belong over here.
So I'm kind of like, but I would say that would like destroy me, and I would never even think about something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I 100% agree. I was actually cheated on a few,
Yeah.
4 or
I
5
can
months
tell,
ago.
bro.
I struggled with self-esteem so much growing up, and that was the worst thing that could have happened. That destroyed any chance I had at self-love at that time, and it was just devastating for me. Like, it really was just devastating, because it didn't just destroy that relationship, it destroyed my entire image of myself that I had built
Damn, he's
up
really opening
based on
up.
other people's validation, and I had to rip it down to the studs and just fully start over. Yeah, so that's why I'm over here. Strongly agree. For me personally, it was the worst thing that could have happened.
Cheating is f***ed up. It's not a good feeling. Is it the worst thing that a partner could do to me? To be honest, I've outgrown that. Bro, I had over $250,000 stolen from me this year, bro. And that put me in a dark ass place. Now imagine if my partner
Yeah,
stole that money
bruh.
from me, or she was just a homie. I'd be more mad about the money. You feel me?
Yeah, I
Have that money to
actually.
be stolen.
So you're saying you care more about money than a relationship?
But because at the end of the day, me and my ex, we ain't together no more, so I don't give a if she was a homie. If she was, right? But if she stole my
Yeah.
money, yeah, that affects my life. You know what I mean, right? So my whole thing is, when we talking about the prom, is cheating the worst thing that the partner could do for me? I've been cheated on before. The first time I was cheated on, bro, I was petty. I was in high school, bro. I drove all the way to the crib and told her mom what she was doing with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right?
that's foul.
Yeah, I was vengeful. But now I just be like, so many people do it. There's worse things that they have. Like, if you kill my mom, I'd be more mad rather than you f***ing a homie.
The sanctity of marriage is supposed to be till death do
That's
us
an
part.
extreme, though,
That
I
doesn't
feel
mean
like.
if your carnal flesh gave in and you had, an indiscretion that you're able to hit the door running. No, that means there's work to be done. We have problems. For me, I think it actually can be the best thing because it's a sign that there is a huge problem in the relationship that needs fixed. Most sex is not emotional. So it's just a bodily act that animals do, and you're going to blow up a marriage or a relationship with children over sex. To me, I think that is ridiculous.
But
and
sex-
shows-
You could say that about the person doing the cheating too.
I've been cheated on, so I have been cheated on.
Well, so you think that's something you could you have gotten over it?
I have gotten over it. If my husband cheats
Yo, look
on
at
me,
her.
of course I'd be.
She
thinking,
does
you
not
have gotten
agree.
over it.
I have gotten over it. If my
at her,
husband
yeah,
cheats
nah,
on me,
nah,
of
get
course
outta
I'd be
here.
devastated. I'm
That
human, I
face
believe
did
just
not
like all y'all
believe her.
too. But I'd be like, damn, like, what's the problem here? What's the issue?
See, but that's-
and can we
Why don't
solve
you just,
this?
Why don't you just talk? Like,
Well,
if you guys are
yeah.
married and you have that emotional
I feel like there's
relationship,
things before that.
happen though. We know that people don't.
I think we should work to changing that.
We should,
Instead
but
of
that doesn't mean
accepting-
I'm going to unconditionally love you just because you went and had an indiscretion.
I
wouldn't do that to my
literally would.
son. My son F's up all the time and does crazy shit. I'm like, where on God's green earth did you learn that? That doesn't mean I stop loving him.
For men, I feel like we take cheating a lot more personally
We
as
do.
opposed to women. It
I
comes
think
with to the ego.
People's boundaries are all different. So if you have perhaps been with no or less partners and then you get married, to learn that that person cheated would be proportionally much more devastating to someone who's had maybe a lot of relationship experience and therefore that's more of an active part in their life. So I think that everyone's boundaries are different. So for some people, I have seen them get over it.
She
I
is
know
so
for me personally,
well-spoken,
I
bro.
would say that I'm a woman that would take that devastatingly seriously and would not look lightly at it. So it depends on the person's boundaries.
If you had children and if you had a family involved, you would break up your family over a man's one-time indiscretion.
Yes.
That would
I feel-
adversely affect your child and possibly send her to the stripper pole.
Wow.
I don't feel comfortable.
Wow. Nah, wow. That is a crazy thing to say, not gonna lie. That you divorcing your partner, choosing your own happiness is eventually devastating your child's future.
That question because I feel like it's making a lot of.
That
But
feels
this
like
is what
an
happens.
escalation a
This is
little
But
bit.
what
I
happens.
feel like that
we don't
that
want to
just
answer
shows
those questions,
Blowing
but
up my phone.
that shows
I
an
would say
example
yes.
onto the kids, like, oh, this is not that bad of a thing.
Yeah, and I think that somebody cheating on you is more than just a physical thing. Like that's a break of trust, and I feel like if you can't have that trust in someone, then I also don't want them to be raising my kids with me.
so we're
Real
all
shit.
saying that love is conditional is the end of
Yeah,
Yes,
oh, 100% agree with
absolutely.
that.
Monogamy is overrated. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
Sorry.
Of course.
Oh, he hit the middle.
Come on, man, get over here, get your
Oh,
photo, man.
nah.
You know you belong here. At least
I know. We're like,
Think about it.
we're like in a second.
Think about it.
We're taught from the Disney, all these fairy tales, it's like you're supposed to be with that one and only, so it's very frightening to break something traditional, but after
sure,
like
I
a few
understand.
months with it, I just knew I'm like, this is the right choice. I've been in the most happiest of relationships. I just celebrated my 3 years with my primary partner, as well as my 2-year anniversary with my secondary partner. But it's like,
Yeah, good for you, man. Honestly.
I do think that monogamy
over
is
here.
kind of overrated. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But I do think that non-monogamy and poly relationships should be something that it's looked at as an option.
I think nowadays I know more open relationships than I do strictly closed relationships
Yeah.
with the people that I know.
Yeah, that's
I would
the
say
kids
I disagree
nowadays,
that
so.
monogamy is overrated, but I do agree that for some people like yourself, poly relationships work better. So I don't look down upon them. I think whatever works for you works for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
But I can still
Thank you.
say that for like someone like myself or people that are similarly just very focused and have like strict kind of like I just can't ever. Oh my God, I could never imagine more than like one
it's a
person.
lot.
She a strict
It
line.
depends
It takes
on
a
the
lot.
person,
Yeah.
so therefore I don't think monogamy is overrated. I think it depends on the person, and I think for me it's definitely not over. It's the only option. For you, poly is like the right way, so it just depends. I'm completely
Yeah.
non-judgmental. I think it just depends.
I
She's
just
literally
wanna
my
say, I
favorite
don't
person
mind
in this
monogamy,
argument.
right? I just don't like a controlling relationship where it's completely like, no, you can't f nobody else, but at the same time, you want to me once or twice a month. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
Like,
That's like-
Exactly.
Yeah, so you know, me and my ex was together for 5 years. I actually broke up with her in April, but for 2.5 years out that relationship, we was barely for like maybe once a month.
Yeah.
Then I moved her in the
Oh,
crib.
it's- I need the bathroom.
And then when I moved her in the house,
We
for the
back.
whole first year of her living in the house, she just didn't want to have sex.
That's
and shit.
right. Yeah.
Now we had an agreement that we had agreed on where we could do various things that we just didn't want to know about and stuff like that, right? And because you wasn't me and like that, I was handling the agreement, like I was following the agreement. But because there were certain things that wasn't necessarily 100% out there, that created complications in the relationship to the point that it ended up to us breaking up.
I think it's definitely like it has a place like for certain people. Like obviously we have two people who are like very religious here, and it works well for them. And I just think like if I was in an open relationship, I would go crazy. Like even when I'm in like a normal relationship where it's
For
like I
real.
don't expect them to cheat on me, I'm still like.
Oh, you got so many ads.
Yeah. So I just like if I can't imagine a world where I would agree with that. And also before I had like loved someone or like dated anybody, I was like, oh no, I could totally be in an open relationship. And then I actually did, and I was like, oh,
Are you
Never
a very
mind.
sexual person? Just curious though.
like kind of.
Kind of.
Sure.
It's like, yeah.
So if your partner was very sexual too, and he's like, baby, like I want to be with you, but you always just shut him down because you ain't in the mood.
I don't. That's like never happened.
Oh,
I don't
well,
think.
okay, but I'm just
like I
saying,
just
like-
feel like that's like not. That's like personally for me not an issue. But also, I don't know. I think that would definitely be a conversation if there was like an imbalance. But also, I think there's different things that make people compatible as partners, and that's definitely one of them.
What he's saying is the cry of many men today is that they're not getting enough
Their
sex
partners
from
are-
their
yeah.
partners. And not just sex. It's not like men are like, oh, I'm heartless.
That connection.
But listen, men need sex to create intimacy. Women need intimacy to have sex. And people get married and then fuck around. It's like,
Yep.
just don't get married then.
Yeah.
And
Simple as that.
stay like this boy, dates and anniversaries every
Y'all two are my
month.
people.
Nah, you can tell he having fun too. So. Like, he
Next
over
month
there
is
on
his
this.
1 year anniversary with partner number 3. Like just, you know what I mean? Just be out
that.
there doing
She
your
violent,
dates. And, does that make sense?
By the end of the day, nobody should dictate your relationship because everyone's gonna try to push what they think works for,
Yeah.
you know, this is what's
Yeah.
best for you. Like, I'm over it. I'm like, why? So I can be frustrated and pissed off and like, I've tried it. To me, it did not work.
I want to take perspective because, you know, Christian.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
mean,
take
respect
perspective
if
that's
you
a
know
little
what
away
you
from-
want.
From my
Suppose
biblical
that
views. And no
half the people in this generation don't even know what they want. So if he knows he doesn't want to be in a monogamous relationship, that's what's up, you know.
disrespect, but I do think polygamy is just laziness.
Not
I think
polygamy.
it's-
This is
or-
polyamory.
no,
Polygamy is
sorry.
when it's multiple wives, just
Polyamorous.
one person.
I see that as laziness, that you don't want to commit to someone in the hard times. Like you were talking about a little bit about, well, they're not getting fulfilled sexually, so why not find it somewhere else?
Yeah.
Why not just do the hard work to work on your relationship?
agree
so
with
that
you.
you
I
can
was
get
ready
that
for this
pleasure?
question.
And
No.
I mean,
Waiting, huh?
there's such a emotional, there's a psychological
Yeah.
just importance in being with one person.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pair
I
bonding.
feel
So
like,
then
yeah,
why
like,
do
you
we have
gotta
such a
that
high divorce
connection.
rate?
I agree with you on that.
Because
Why do we have such
people
a high
don't
divorce
Why,
marry the right people.
why are people still cheating? Why is open
because they're not, because our country, I think, is lazy. We don't want to have these hard conversations of
Okay.
maybe we should go to therapy, maybe we should try to get help because we love
Work
one
on it.
another. It's like, nah,
Or
I
even
can go
to
get
talk
this.
about it, period.
Yeah.
Just to talk about
I-
it, right?
So me and my ex, we actually did couples therapy because again, we was barely for like 2.5
Uh-huh.
years, bro. We went to couples therapy. Next thing you know, everything was great for like a month. And then one day she just blew up. She said, man, I still don't feel like you, this, and that. But like she went
Wow.
in, bro.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So at the same
See,
time,
that's
mama,
just the
there was a point in my
relationship.
relationship where it really
I'm gonna just say it off rips. It feels like him and his, ex definitely shouldn't have been together, and yeah.
just came to the point like, baby, I love everything else about you. You know what I mean, right? This area sucks. Are you still
Oh,
attracted
he
to me? She
still
said,
love
"Yes,
her,
I'm still
though."
attracted to you, right? Well, here's the thing. If you just don't want to have sex with me, right? Go f somebody do this. I don't give a
Yeah.
Let's have that conversation, right? Because I get everything else I want from you anyways. I was open to the idea. I want to be with my woman, but if you don't want to do this, I'm fine just
Yeah.
be on the same page.
I mean, I understand the importance of sex, but there's self-sacrifice in every relationship you need to make. If you're happy with her and everything she had, but you also have a value on sex, then maybe she's not the right person.
But the thing was,
Simple as
did I want
that.
to go look for greener grass, or did I just want to water my own grass? I just stuck it out for 5 years, bro.
That's another aspect of being like romantically compatible with someone, and sometimes there's like one thing that's not there and that sucks. But it's like especially if that other person, that's something that they prioritize. Like personally, if my partner was like, oh, like I love like everything about you, but like this is not compatible, and they wanted to go sleep with other people, like that would make me feel so bad about myself.
Yeah.
And that's why
Like,
you do what works for you.
That's what you do.
Well,
What
I'm
works
just saying
for
like
you.
that's like a compatibility issue then I think, because I'm not your ex-girlfriend, I don't know how she feels, but if I were in that scenario, I just like that just would make me so sad, even though it's like it's not of your
I
fault. like,
completely
that's sad.
understand, bro.
The comments gonna talk so much shit.
Yeah, they-
right. Bro,
They're gonna be like, he's a
the day
slut,
I
he's
broke up
a
with my girl, bro, she told me like I won't say everything. The day I broke with my girl, she said, man, she's like, I just be counting down the days. Like we had sex in like 12 days. I gotta go have sex with y'all. Otherwise, I actually gonna get mad. You know what I mean, right? And I'm hearing all this and shit, right? You know what I mean? So she said a bunch, and I felt like I had to break up with her, right?
Yeah, no, that's
did not want to. I felt like I had to.
Yeah, that
Maybe
would definitely
that's
take a toll on you.
That's I think all this goes back to clear communication, because if
sure.
I don't think that
I
cheating
feel like you should always be
means
having
that
clear
polyamory would
communication
actually be
with
the
your partner.
solution to that. I think that it goes back to your values and
Yes.
what works for you. And I think that I would maybe venture to say that more people might be poly than are exploring that right now. And still at the same time, monogamy I think works for a lot of people. So it's all what works for you.
I
Yeah.
would date someone in this room. 3, 2, 1.
Right? I don't know these people.
Surprised he was over here.
Yeah,
Like,
this
what are you
doesn't
doing?
really
I know,
matter.
he's already said what you're doing.
The energy is cool.
You just have to have a pulse, and we'll go out with you.
That's not how that is.
Perfect example, right? Like Janelle, she got good energy, right? Now imagine Janelle might be the coolest person. Next thing you know, you start getting to know her, she might be crazy. You'd be like, then you come over here all of a sudden.
Generally, the few people I've been attracted to, they look like Tim Burton dolls, or just like weird goth
Tim Burton
people. Yeah, just like weird goth people. So like,
Yeah,
it's
she
just
dresses
coincidence. It's
up
very
like
rare that I see these
a
people. So
little
it's not a
weird, so-
personal thing.
Sir?
My girlfriend would kill me, and
Respect.
I like to think I'm pretty picky, so
But am I not your type though?
you got me feeling some type of way now that you say it. I don't know.
So you my good side?
Oh, okay.
This guy. Yo, that dash caught me the fuck off guard. Look, goofy ass day.
I mean, for me, beliefs are extremely important. I mean, I ain't trying to get all flirty, but you are also very gorgeous.
Oh shit.
Send us
That'd be rich.
But no, beliefs are very important within relationships. I think I look into, obviously I have a desire to be a husband and one day be a father, and I think if you have difference in beliefs, it's very hard to raise coherently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that just is extremely important.
That's it for Jubilee's video on if men and women can be friends. I think the short answer is yes. We're all just people at the end of the day. But let me know what you think in the comments. Fuck with the socials. Catch y'all at the next one. Peace.